Hello, people. It's Keg here. I'm going to go over the follower BP that comes with the animation pack. It's a pretty robust but simple system that you can use not only with this pack but pretty much any animations you want to put on it. Right off the bat, what makes this unique is the fact that it actually has three different animation sets in it, or animation packs with it. So you would choose between the ghost, the creepy, and the normal animation sets. By default, it's set to ghost. So even if you don't choose one, it'll default to the ghost one where she's kind of floating around. The character here does not come with the pack. This is from an upcoming game I'm working on, but might as well put her in there just for demonstration. The follower has three main systems to determine its logic. The first two are pretty simple. You can have the followers just start on begin play. So if I turn that on, the follower will just come after you right from the start of the game. The next one would be on trigger. There's a sphere collision around the follower that you can move or resize, and then she'll start as soon as you hit that trigger and continue to follow you. Of course, that's determined on your nav mesh. So of course you have to have nav mesh in your scene. And then the third one is a roaming system that's built in. This will, when turned on, override these two. So no matter if these two are turned on, it'll turn them off. And this is pretty much just her roaming around. And of course, you can set the distance of her roaming, the delay time, so she'll get to a spot and stop for X number of seconds. And then you can turn on chase on roam. So chase on roam uses pawn sensing, and she'll just roam around until she sees you. And then once she sees you, she'll start to chase after you. Like that. And then with that, you can set the lose sight delay. So this is how long after you're outside of the cone of vision that she'll continue to look for you and chase for you. And then what makes this system a little different is you can swap modes. And what that means is whatever your starting mode is, you can go to a different mode. So let's say I start on normal and she'll just walk around. When she sees me and chases me, she'll switch to, right now it's set to 0, which is ghost. And it goes from 0, 1, 2, and 3. So ghost is 0, creepy is 1, and normal is 3. So if I press play and she sees me, you see she switches to the ghost animation set. So right now she's in normal, just walking around. And then when she sees me, she switches to a new animation set. And all of her animations associated with that change as well. So her attacks, how she gets hit, how she dies, things like that all change when the mode changes. So you can go from ghost to normal, you can go from creepy to normal, normal to creepy, whatever you want, by turning on swap mode and then the mode number. And as you can see, I have everything tooltip. So if you're not sure what the mode is or whatever, you can just hover over it with your mouse and it will let you know. You can also change the run speed. So for example, normal, her max speed is 45, I believe, but in Ghost she goes all the way up to 300. So she can walk around slow, and then when she sees you, start chasing after you at a higher speed if you turn that on, and you can set the number. If for any of the other ones you want her to move faster, you would have to, and if you have like run animations and things like that, because I'm not using them in this system. So normal and creepy have walk animations, and ghost has essentially a run animation, which is like a fly faster animation. You can add animations to the blend spaces. All the blend spaces are 1D, very simple. So you see, goes up to 300. Creepy goes up to 100, but the actual walk stops at 50. So if you wanted to put in a run animation, you can just put it in over at the end of the blend space, and then set it to the speed that works with the animation you're playing. So it's very flexible like that. It's very simple 1D blend spaces. So again, you can use this system with any animations you want. You don't have to change the names of anything. If you have a sorcerer animation pack that you want to swap out my ghost animations for, you just go into the ghost BS and just put them in here, from idle to fly fast. So I set it up to be pretty versatile like that, so you're not stuck with just the pack I'm giving you. The pack comes with 50 plus animations for different things, but if you want to substitute something in, feel free. Moving on here, you can use a health system. So if you turn this on, she can now use health. She can be damaged. She can regenerate health. You can set the health to whatever you want. You can set how much she regenerates health, and also the delay. So right now she's regenerating 10 health every other second. So it would take a lot to kill her. If I put that down to like 1, you leave use health on, regen, and then so like now, if I shoot her a bunch of times, she'll die. She'll die basically after 10 or 11 shots because she's trying to regen health, but she can't regen health as fast as I'm shooting her. So the health system is in. There's a delay before the actor is destroyed after death, so that the character's not just laying there infinitely. You can set that for as long as you want. You can spawn in blood particles, and you can set the delay. So if you want the particles to spawn in pretty much every time she's hit, you can set it to like 0 or like 0.2 to give it a little bit of a break. Blood height is the height at which the particle will spawn. So typically on a 6-foot Unreal mannequin, about 100 is mid-chest. So if you're using, a child character like I am, you might want to set that to like 70 or something like that to make it a little lower, because 100 on her would be about at her head, so 70 would lower it down to about her chest. So blood particles or whatever you're spawn in where you want it. Hit delay reaction. This is how long in between an animation will play when the follower is damaged, so it's not just like constantly on the stagger. So yeah, it takes about a second and a half before she plays a different stagger animation, which I need to set to upper body only, so it doesn't mess with the walk animation. That will be done before this goes up. I was just testing out some other things. So she's playing, her whole body right now is playing the hit animation instead of just the upper body. but I'll fix that. Here is the ghost hits. These are the staggers for ghost, staggers for creepy, staggers for normal, and then the different deaths. These are just regular animations. The hits are montages, and like I said, they'll be set to upper body. So right here, if you're going to add new ones and you don't want it doesn't matter so much for ghost because she's floating, so the whole body can change. But on something like a walk or creepy, if you're adding new ones, see how she like steps back, but if she's walking towards you and you just want that on the upper body, you would change that to upper body slot, which actually it already is, so I don't have to change that. All right. And for the deaths, they're just animations so that they only play once. So anything that's a hit, montage. Anything that's a death, just the animation. So normal death. You can spawn for the blood any type of system, because again, if you've been on Unreal for a little bit, or you bought other stuff on the marketplace for blood splatters and stuff like that, some of them are Niagara, some of them are blueprint actors, some of them are legacy particles. So I made sure to add in a slot for all of those, so no matter what you're spawning, just click the plus, add it, and put it in the appropriate slot. Alright, attack. If you want the follower to be able to attack the player, just turn it on. And then these would be the attack animations. Again, these are montages. You can set those to upper body as well if you don't want the whole body to play the animation. Minimum, maximum delay in between the attacks. What I suggest is that the minimum should be the length of the longest attack, so that whatever the longest attack you have is, it will make sure it plays through the whole thing before it decides to play another one. And then of course you can set the maximum and minimum damage that she will do to the player. So I go back in there and turn off swap mode, and then she sees me. So yeah, so she'll attack me and I'm taking damage. Move the box out of her way. So yeah, she's got these attacks that she'll do. And I have the system staggered so that her little attack prongs here only fire once for the attack. It just helps stop multiple hits during the attack. But you can of course move these out if she's holding a weapon or whatever. And it's on both hands just in case. So it's health and the attack system. Let's see. Sounds. So the outer ring here, let's see if I can snag it. Yeah. So the inner sphere collision is the trigger to start on follow. The outer one here is what I'm calling the theme song. So you know how in a lot of games when you're close to an enemy, some music will fade in, a drone or some strings or whatever if you're making a horror game. So that system is set up when you're close to the follower. It'll fade music in, and when you leave this area, it will fade the music out. And you can set that here. Fade in duration, fade out duration. She also has a slot for attack sounds when she gets hit and when she dies. And these are only one slots because in a sound queue you can set up a random and put all your sounds in there instead of having multiple queues in here, just to keep this a little cleaner. So there's a lot you can do with this. I mean, you're not gonna make a boss fight or anything like that out of the follower. It's not really set up to be that in depth, but whether you need a follower that just immediately follows on spawn or on begin play, or they're standing in a corner and once you get close to them they follow you around. They have health that you can set and regen, take damage, get hit. They can roam around. They can swap different animation sets, and with different attacks, different hits, different deaths. A lot of stuff you can do. I've also set it up where, let's say you're using a spawner, like you have a blueprint that spawns in enemies. In the event begin play at the very top, it's probably the only thing that's in red, so you should be able to see it immediately. You can connect any of these up so that if the follower is spawned in, they're already good to go. So if you want them to start off as the creeper, and then they have health and they can regen health and roam around and chase on roam, you can literally just connect that up so that when the BP is spawned in instead of placed in, it'll already be set to go. Along with that, the BP itself is already set up for placed in world or spawned, so you don't have to worry about if I spawn it in, why isn't it moving? Because that's a common issue that most people forget about, that it has to be set to placed in world or spawned. So that's already set up for you. Smooth rotation's already set up for you, that kind of stuff. So a lot in this little follower BP. Even, like I said, it's just a simple kind of follow enemy, but there's a lot of things you can play around with to kind of make it unique to whatever type of game or system you're trying to make. And here's the attack sphere. You can move this out or whatever if you need to, if you need more distance, that kind of thing. So I guess lastly then, the sounds that play, just so you know, are set to this location. So most of them are play at location. So if you have attenuation on, like let's say you shoot her from a distance, it'll play at this location of this audio cue. So it's not like coming out of the center of her, or you'll hear it everywhere, that kind of thing. But that's in your attenuation of sound. So I believe that is everything. Like I said, it's all, if you highlight over everything, it should give you a tooltip. I'm going to double check that, make sure all that's good to go before I upload this. And yeah, so that is the follower BP. Like I said, unfortunately the character itself does not come with this. This is a proprietary character I made for my game, but you can use it for a creepy child follower, or really any type of follower. Like I said, it's really easy to swap out the animations for the actual movement here in the blend spaces, and then the animations for attacks and stuff are all actually editable. So you can use it for any type of follow you want. Have fun, enjoy it. I'll see you all in the next one. Keg out.